Welcome back to ShopDog-Garage. A few things have shown up for the Henry J project. There's a couple of Summit boxes here, but more importantly, there's one from Inland. Always a big fan. So hopefully we get a little bit more done on the Henry today. And in those goodie boxes were some gaskets, some of these little brackets, a couple little breather things, some miscellaneous things like the fact that we stole all these from the Camaro. So those were all supposed to go on the Camaro, but I stole them and put them on the Henry. So we had to get new ones. And he was plumb out of friction modifier, so might as well stock back up. And even get a new hat. I don't know when they started doing that again, but apparently Summit's doing hats again. Okay, so before I pull this wire, I want to find out exactly where I want it to lay. I think I like it being right here. I want it to be a touch long so that you could still mess with timing if you had to, but not as long as it is currently. That's the only one I'm really unhappy with at the moment. We may route this one under, but not too worried about number 4 right now. Number 1 is obviously a foot too long. Alright, and that's the piece we cut off. I just built a new end. I've shown you doing that a billion times, so there's nothing real fancy. You know, every time you buy one of the kits, you get the tool, so nothing to it. Just never throw these ends away. You never know when you're going to need to make a cable shorter or fix the end of something. Okay, I don't know where he put it, but there's a finned cover that goes over this, but it gets epoxied down. So I just got this modified to work. So you can see it's got these little legs, but it's also our oil filler cap. And at first it didn't work at all, but now I think I got it working pretty good. And we got PCV, found the little nipple. So yeah. Oh yeah, here's that thing. But he'll be able to paint that to match. So, and the reason they do it the way they did it is now that it's locked, then he can put the epoxy on here, set that on there, and it's always in line, and it's not that little off or a little off. You know, that'd drive you crazy. Well, as much as I like these guys, they are way too thick. Adding 3 of those to this setup adds over a ½ inch, and unfortunately there's no way we can slide that back a ½ inch. I'm hoping we can get away with at least the high quality gasket here, but these 2 are going to have to be paper gaskets. So there's just, I mean, even now with just this one in here, it's a snug, we got to fight it fit, and that's without 2 gaskets yet. So we figured before he paints it, we might as well check the fit of the new drive shaft. You can see that's as far as she went in right there when I stuck it in there. Now I've got to clean out some jackass painted the freaking yoke, so you can see the caps don't want to slide in. I do not want to force them in. And at first I thought we had the wrong cap, but I don't think so. I think it's just the paint. To see this gap here, well, hopefully you guys see it. So I think it's just because I'm fighting some paint. The important thing is he can paint the drive shaft, so I'll get that out for him. It's not as fun to put in there as you would think. Also, we're going to have to be real careful with those. See how it wants to ride the drive shaft? We're going to have to come up with one more mounting point for those. Probably something up in here. So we got to think on that as well. Well, I found that jackass. Okay, so we got these a lot nicer. You can see that'll register now. But one of the things we hadn't thought of, well, actually we thought we had thought of, but we didn't understand the reality, is this was touching the drive shaft. So what I think we're going to do is make something like this so that those can never hang down in the drive shaft. So I'm going to go back and look at scrap metal. I'd found a piece I like. I've got an area I like. I just drilled 2 small pilots because originally we were thinking riv nut, but that became a maybe. So the whole depth total is whatever that is. So I just pulled out a caliper, which is close enough to 0 for what we're measuring, and I'm just long earing it to keep it short.
Long earing it.
But yeah, so about 684 mils. So So as long as the rib nut for whatever we decide to use there is shorter than that when it goes in before you compress it, we'll do that. If it isn't, then we're going to drill and tap that wall. So we're not going to make that decision yet. I'm going to have to look at rib nuts, but I'm including this in the video because when I edit the video, I'm going to remember 684 mils. Right. And for those that don't remember just how much engine and whatnot is under this teeny little car, this is how crazy this thing is. Yeah, so unfortunately I thought that would be enough divide, but we can put that little bracket up. He's going to paint that up this week, make it nice and pretty. And then the drive shaft will be in for the last time, and we'll get some thinner gaskets, and hopefully we'll get those to fit in. And then we can get the O2 sensor in. And then I think we can finally fill the tranny after that, because that's on our list. Rear end is filled. Oil change is definitely still in the future, but not quite yet. So, yeah, we're getting there slowly. All right, grab the light, just slid the car back a little bit. Because one of the things we had noted was that console was jiggling. So I want to take a peek and see what I can figure out about it. I just remembered that I get to fight around this roll cage. So I'll be right back. You know how sometimes you send something out to somebody who's supposed to be a professional and they do things and then they screw it all up? I almost said a bad thing. You see this chunk of wire sitting here? That is the wire we had to power this K to make it all shiny, all hidden under here. And this right here is where it plugged in. Let me try a new way of holding the phone. So it would get its power from here. This very destroyed and melted thing here is the power supply for that. And this is the power for it. I don't know what they did, but they done did it. I don't even know how we're going to fix this. I have no idea. Ugh, you just hate that. Alright, we've been in here playing for a little bit. And yeah, I can pull all this stuff out, and you can see all the things I had left. Because remember, I had all this wired and just zip tied in the way here, or out of the way here, you know, and then he did the thing to put the radio. Of course, this doesn't stay up, which is kind of a pain in the butt for the radio, but whatever, you know, you're only driving, so you need two hands to do anything, so that's kind of peculiar. We can't seem to find an opening for that, but I have a feeling when all this was first made, before all this material relaxed, see, if I push at the 2 points he's got here, and he had it keyed around the roll bar, you can see it's actually quite stable. It's stable. But now time has passed, and now it's not. So at some point, all of this has to come out. And I got to reverse engineer this, and even though we paid somebody to do it, we have to do it, because that's what it always is. I think I am not currently in the state of mind to go working on pulling that console. I am a little worked up. So I'm going to step away from that. I don't want to damage anything just because I'm frustrated. It's just irritating that you can pay a guy to do his part of the job that you've worked so hard on, and, you know, they don't care. None of these people care. So anyway, I think that's going to wrap it for tonight. I think we'll talk about a couple ideas here, but I still haven't figured out how to do the brake pedal, and now I definitely don't know what we're going to do about the console, but I know it's going to have to come out. So when we're done, we'll know a lot more about it. Just remember, ShopRex always says safety first.